Why is Sven Mislintat leaving Arsenal 14 months after taking the position of chief scout at Arsenal Football Club, leaving the club he was then at, Borussia Dortmund? Now, I've sat back, I've seen the absolute meltdown, I've seen people saying they'll not support the club anymore, I've seen people saying that the club's in a shambles, I've seen people going way overboard about a scout leaving the football club. Now, I don't claim to speak for the fans. I don't claim to be anything other than a football fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. I have been for over 30 years. And I don't claim to be anything other than that. I just like to give my opinion. And if people agree with that, then sweet. If you don't agree with it, cool. That's also sweet. But I've sat there and I've kept my mouth shut and I've seen a few people tweeting from big accounts, and I've seen loads of other people with smaller accounts, not that their opinion doesn't matter, because of course it does, we're all Arsenal fans, but the absolute meltdown. It's like this guy's been here for 20 years, he's unearthed gem after gem after gem for Arsenal, and we're losing one of the greatest men ever in our history of the club. Now, I don't know if I've missed something here, but the guy's been here 14 months, right? And I'm sure it says at the top of the football stadium, Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal Football Club. Not Sven Mislintat Football Club, a single player football club, maybe a manager football club, or any individual. The club is always the biggest factor, and it should always come back to the club. Now, I don't want to go off on one and dismiss other people's opinions, because listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But on the 21st of November, 2017, we signed Sven Mislintat. I'm looking at the article now that Amy Lawrence wrote in the The Guardian. I apologise, The Guardian. Sven Mislintat's joined from Borussia Dortmund, blah, blah, blah. It's about the new catalyst for change that Gazida spoke about. Sven Mislintat brings in a wealth of experience. He's unearthed some fantastic players over the years, Lewandowski, Dembele, Aubameyang, etc., Mkhitaryan. And he uses stats and data, as well as a team of people underneath him, to go and unearth gems, right? Now that's cool. What I've seen in the last couple of days, from when this story broke, I don't even know who broke the story, I must admit. I know that some big accounts have put it out there. Whether it was them that broke it, I don't know. I can't speak for them. But what I've seen is stories coming out saying Sven Mislintat has had a row with Unai Emery because he wants to go and sign Ousmane Dembele. He wants to go and sign Kostas Manolas. Now, I may be completely thick here and completely ignorant, right? But why would we, firstly, take the opinion of a scout? And yes, he's a scout, he's got to put his players forward. Look, I think we should sign this player, that player. But I might be missing something here. You don't need to go and scout Kostas Manolas. Seriously. Everyone knows he's a top draw centre-back. Everyone knows it. I know it, you know it, everybody else knows it. So, am I completely getting his job role mixed up? Because also, Ousmane Dembele, he was on the biggest stage, the World Cup. He's got a World Cup winners medal, I believe. He was in their squad. Why do we need to scout Ousmane Dembele? Surely, from what I see, and like I said, I might be completely ignorant here, but surely from what I see is players like Guendouzi, Torreira, players like that. I've seen people saying that he's had a falling out with Emery because he wants us to sign Dembele and Manolas, but Emery wants to sign Denis Suarez and Yannick Carrasco. Now, we've got a sporting director, Raul Sanhaley, I hope I've pronounced that right. We've then got a chief scout, Mislintat, and then we've got a head coach, Unai Emery. Now, surely, when we go and look at a player, the scout comes to the sporting director and Unai Emery. They all sit down around the table. This is how I see it. Like I said, I might be completely ignorant to the whole situation here. But that then lies with Unai Emery. Because if you're going to scout a player, say somebody like Mavropanos, I totally understand Sven brings that in. So if he wants us to sign Ousmane Dembele, which I can't get my fucking head round if I'm being completely honest. Firstly, it cost 100 million quid, which we're never going to do. Secondly, he ain't worth more than 50 million quid. Barca had their pants pulled down buying him. Yes, he's very talented. 100 million pounds, 140. Really? Come on, man. He's nowhere near Mbappe level, and he went for the same money. But surely, when you bring in a youngster, a Guendouzi and Mavropanos, surely the head coach will go, yeah, I could see that guy in my plans, or no, I don't want that guy. So then the club decide whether to go with Unai Emery, the head coach, who's got to use this guy in matchday squads every week, or totally disregard that. And this is where I see the grey area here. I can't believe for 1 minute that Sven Mislintat is putting them kind of players forward to our manager and to our sporting director. Don't see it. Don't buy into it at all. I just can't see it. The whole world knows who them two players are. So why would he be saying, let's go and do this, let's go and do that? Kostas Manolas is not a kid. Mavropanos, Guendouzi, fair play. Torreira, fair play. They're good players. And Torreira has been exceptional. And if Guendouzi keeps his feet grounded and starts tracking back and doing the tactical side of the game, the geezer's destined to be a great player, right? But the idea of putting forward big names, I'm sorry, I don't see how that's a scout's thing. That's surely a manager going to the board or to the sporting director and saying, right, I want that name, that name, that name. That's my list. Go and get it for me. That's not the scout's job, surely. But at the end of the day, the buck stops in terms of signing the player. The final decision should come down to the manager, the coach, because at the end of the day, he's got to work with these players. So if he doesn't want that player, then that's the end of it. And this is why I don't believe this story, because I can't believe he's putting them players forward anyway, and I can't believe they've had a row, right? Now, on the flip side of that, Mislintat does have history for having rows with head coaches. Thomas Tuchel at Borussia Dortmund, they fell out over a player. One of them wanted him, the other one didn't. It ended up that they had a massive bust-up. Now, my take on this, and I've gone the long way about it, so please forgive me, right? My take on this is, I do think the story's true. I do think he's going to leave, right? Now, this is where I'm going to spin it now and bring a bit of perspective to it, because I've seen so many people going down roads that I just can't, I just don't get it. Like, saying you're not going to support the club because he's leaving. Fucking come on, seriously. Now, when he took over, it was announced on the 21st of November 2017 that he was coming in as head scout and Raul Sanhaley is coming in as sporting director, okay? Now, if you remember rightly, Raul started his work, his job. He got the job, but he never started that job until the 1st of February 2018. Mislintat started his job straight away, okay? Now, what's the common denominator in all this? Oh yes, Ivan Gazidis. Ivan Gazidis was the CEO of Arsenal Football Club when them decisions to bring them two men to this football club, okay? Now, this is where I think it's gone wrong. I think that Raul Sanhaley oversaw the best period in Barcelona's history. He doesn't use stats or data or any of this stuff. He uses contacts that he's got in the game. He knows everybody, literally. He can phone up any single person in world football, he's got their number, okay? And he uses his contacts to bring players in, agents in to get their players in, etc., right? Now, I personally think that Sanhaley has said, I want my own guy. Because now him and the other guy whose name I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce are basically sharing Gazidis' job. One's doing the marketing and bringing all the merchandise deals and stuff like that in. And then he's doing the sporting side of it, player contracts, player signings, etc. So they're splitting the CEO role, right? So Sven was not his man. He was Gazidis' man, okay? Unai Emery was Sanhaley's man. He had a hand in it. He was at the club. Although Gazidis was the one who showed him all around, he still had a hand in it, because without him, he wouldn't have been at the football club, okay? Now, I personally think, and there's stories coming out, they've been leaked out about Edu. Edu used to play for us. He was so underrated, that footballer. So underrated. Now, he's gone away, he's worked with Corinthians, and he now currently works with the Brazil national team. Make of that what you will. But there's reports coming out that he is coming in a technical director's role. So therefore, Sven Mislintat's being moved aside. Edu is coming in, and Edu will then have a hands-on role doing Sven's job basically, but in a different capacity, different job title. But it's essentially the same thing. Now, to wrap up, because I'm waffling on now, Ivan Gazidis recruited both of them guys, okay? One of them guys is leaving. Gazidis has already left. I personally think Raul Sanhalli wants his own guy. Now, I wanted change for a long, long time, and I was vocal on change. I wanted the old regime out, the manager, the CEO, the lot of them, okay? I wanted the whole lot gone, the goalkeeping coach, everything. I wanted them all gone because we stagnated, okay? Now, I've called for change. I've got change, okay? Now, obviously, we've seen about the wage bill, etc., etc. We can't go out and spunk money this window on actual signings. Although we do have money available for signings, we can't add to the wage bill, etc., etc., right? Now, I'm going to trust in this regime because this regime's been in place fully for 7 months. Let's be real, 7 months since Unai Emery walked through the door, okay? So that's the new regime. Sanhalli, Sven, Emery. Sven's being outed. He's going, he's left, he's being kicked out, whatever, okay? There's still 2 chinks of that 3 still there. And we're going to bring a guy in who knows the club, he's played for the club, very well he played for the club. He knows the club inside out. So why the meltdown? I don't get it. I've seen people saying to me, yeah, but it's, you know, we've called for change and the club's a shambles. Listen, the club is a shambles. We all accept that, right? Some of us want to moan about it. Some of us want to see the positives from it. And I hope that's what you're seeing off of my video, okay? Now, for me, it's just a scout. It's just a scout. 15, 20 years ago, did anyone even know who the scouts were at Arsenal? No, because I fucking didn't. I didn't know the scouts were at Arsenal. But as times move on and social media and reports come out and, you know, the ins and outs of a football club now, everybody knows the ins and outs of every single thing at every single football club now. But the one thing I will say here, yes, he's a fantastic scout, granted, but he's not the only scout in world football, okay? And you've only got to look down the road in West London. They've got the best set of scouts combined in world football at Chelsea. Every single top drawer youngster, near or near enough, is playing for Chelsea and is on loan at Vitesse Arnhem or any other fucking club in world football. Then what they do is a club will come in for them and they'll go, right, you're going there, £3 million. You're going there, £4 million. You're going there, £50 million in Hudson-Odoi's case to Bayern Munich, okay? That balances the books. If you look at our youth setup now, we've got Smith Rowe, we've got Willock, we've got Saka, we've got Maitland-Niles, we've got some good players, Reece Nelson. We have got some very, very talented youngsters. Mavropanos, Guendouzi. That's a good core there, right? Now, I get that we want to bring youngsters in, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's cool. But at the same time, losing a scout is not our biggest issue right now. So let's just all have a little bit of perspective on it and see it as a positive that the main guy right now who's running our club, the sporting director, Raul Sanhalli, wants his own guy. That's how I see it. If you don't agree, cool, leave it in the comments. Let me know. Like, listen, I'm open to all ideas, right? But that's how I see it. I don't believe for 1 minute that Sven has gone to Emery and said, right, you should buy Dembele. You should buy this player. Come on, seriously? We're never going to do £100 million on Ousmane Dembele, for fuck's sake. Firstly, he ain't got no marketing pool, so we ain't going to get no money in for him off of the back of it. Secondly, £100 million could go on 3 players and make the team a lot better rather than one that can't cut it at Barcelona. So that's how I see it. Listen, I appreciate all the love on the channel. I've doubled the size of this channel in a week. So big up all of you guys, because without you guys watching my stuff, without you guys subscribing and sharing all the content around, I wouldn't be sat here chatting into the camera right now. So listen, if you agree, cool, let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm always happy to reply to people, always want to get new ideas and new thoughts and stuff like that. But this idea that they've had a massive argument over Dembele and Manolas, come on, it seems so far-fetched. I just don't buy into it. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. My preview for the Chelsea game will be out Friday evening. Make sure you turn the notification bell on so that way it pops straight up as soon as it drops. Don't forget, like the channel if you're liking the content, smash that like button and share the content around. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.